everybody, this is SaberRex coming to you live with another review for the Beasts of the Mesozoic Ceratopsian series by Creative Beast Studio and David Silva. And today we are going to be looking at the 1/6 scale Psittacosaurus mongoliensis. So here we are, there it is, and before we take a look at this figure, let's take a quick look at the packaging for it. So, moving our little friend over here back a bit, let's bring out the packaging for it. So here we have the packaging for Psittacosaurus mongoliensis. It's done by Carlos Arellano and Jax Jackson in regards to the artwork. And I must say they did a beautiful job. As I've said before, multiple artists contributed to the Beasts of the Mesozoic packaging artwork for the entirety of the toy line. And inside the box, you also get this beautiful backdrop of Mongolian flaming cliffs, which you can use to put behind the figure. You can actually take that out and put it as a diorama behind the figure. So, very nice that they can allow you to do that, and it's a lot of fun to actually do that, because it makes it look a little more realistic. But anyway, flipping around to the backside, you get this nice little bit of information here, along with the illustration of the artwork. And on the back of the packaging itself, you get a list of all the Wave 1 figures for the Beasts of the Mesozoic. So there you have it. And of course, inside the packaging, you get this card, which of course is the same thing as the artwork on the cover. And of course a photo of the figure itself on the back, along with the information on it. You also get the ever-important tail assembly instructions, because these are extremely important. You have to heat up the tail with a hairdryer or hot water in order to assemble it into the figure properly. If you don't, it will lead to frustration, potential breakage of the figure's ball joints, which you attach the tail into, or just injury and frustration, because you can actually hurt your hands trying to fit them in. I found this out the first time when I tried to, and yeah, it bruised my hands up a little bit. So definitely play it smart. Try to be careful, and of course use a hairdryer or hot water to expand the plastic. So there you have that. And unlike the rest of the Beasts of the Mesozoic figures, it also comes with a tripod, with a stand for a display base that acts as a stand for the Psittacosaurus, because unlike any other ceratopsians, this animal is a biped, and it needs the stand just like the dromaeosaurs did, the raptors. Now, originally the figure did not need this stand, because originally it was going to be able to stand up on its own without help, but for whatever reason, other than the prototypes, the original Psittacosaurus figures cannot stand up without help. So yeah, you really need this if you're going to have your figure stand up. It can stand up on its own on 4 legs, which I will show you in a little bit, but yeah, on 2 legs it doesn't stand up more than 10 seconds maximum. Most of the time it only stands up for about 3 seconds maximum. But anyway, yeah, be sure that you read these as well. And also, the stand itself, the display base, it did not come with the figure initially, for those of us who were the first to receive it, like myself. However, it will be in the packaging, the box that the figure comes in with future purchases for anyone who is interested in getting this figure. So just so you know, it does come with this display base in the box for later, later runs of the figure. So, moving on. Let's take a good look at the coloration for it. Because this is one of the coolest ones of all, and I'll tell you why. Psittacosaurus' color scheme for this is actually based on the real fossils of Psittacosaurus that actually preserve the color. It is one of 2 dinosaurs in the Beasts of the Mesozoic toy line that actually preserve the coloration. The other one being Microraptor from the Raptors accessory packs. As well. And Microraptor is actually an animal that lived alongside Psittacosaurus, so yeah, it's very cool. And I will show you a comparison in size later in this video between it and Microraptor. But anyway, this coloration is absolutely scientifically accurate, except for the fact that there's no black coloration on the butt right underneath the figure's tail. But yeah, it's not really a big deal. This is basically just individual variation. But yeah, absolutely fantastic job. Because this is one of the 2 most scientifically accurate dinosaurs in the entire toy line. Now, let's take a quick look at the figure's articulation, shall we? So, in regards to articulation, he can bend his neck left and right, like so. The head can also bend left and right, like that. Not as much, but he's still got great articulation in his neck and head. He can also move his head and neck down, like this, and up, like so. And of course, with all the Beasts of the Mesozoic figures, the jaws move, and he's got this lovely beak that can open and close so well that it fits snugly in, and you can actually see inside his mouth all those little teeth. Yeah, it's just absolutely phenomenal. Just absolutely phenomenal. And I really just love how well his mouth fits together. Now, in regards to his arms, he can do a full 360, though I don't recommend it because of the shoulder piece here, limiting his movement a little bit. He can splay his arms in and out like so, about this much. His arms can bend about this far forward at the elbow and about this far back. So not a lot of articulation at the elbow, but just enough. His wrists can also do a full 360 swivel, though I don't recommend it because it does not look natural. The hands can also move the fingers in and out, out and in, like so. And yeah, they've got some nice articulation for the wrist as well in that regard, or 2. And I'll tell you why later. The torso also has some nice bend. It can move this way. It can move this way. It can also move up and down about this much. The leg can also do a full 360 at the hip, though I don't recommend it because, again, it does not look natural and the clearance issues with these hips. And both hind legs have great articulation. He can bend about this far back at the knee and about this far forward at the knee. The ankle can bend about this much back, this far forward. And the foot does not have that much articulation in it, but it does have some nice little it can bend back and forth like this in order to properly adjust the figure's balance. The tail does not move far up and down because of these quills, which are a natural feature on Psittacosaurus. This is actually found in the real fossil, but he can move his tail down like so. He can move it up about that much because of the spikes, and he can move it right and left like so. Yeah, so there you have the articulation and for Psittacosaurus, all 19 points of it. Now, He can stand up bipedally with help from his display base, but he can also stand up quadrupedally, like so, because of his arms and his articulation for the arms. And he can sit kind of like this if you want him to. So he can actually sit down like, well, stand up like so on four legs, just like the 1/18th scale ceratopsians. So that comes out very, very nice little pose, and that's actually realistic to how Psittacosaurus would have moved, because Psittacosaurus, it turns out, actually spent a lot of its time in its youth as a quadruped. They actually became bipedal as they matured. Psittacosaurus could actually live about 11 years, and it spent a lot of that time basically as a quadruped and became a biped as it grew older. But yeah, it's absolutely wicked awesome. Now, Psittacosaurus is also one of the best studied dinosaurs. Many people do not know this, but it actually is one of the best studied dinosaurs, so we actually know a lot about its life. We do have specimens of baby Psittacosaurus, and they could have large clutches of eggs, like up to 40 babies in a single clutch. It actually may even be as many as multiple clutches, with a single parent or subadult looking after them, but nobody's quite sure yet. We do know, though, that, yeah, again, there are 12 species of Psittacosaurus, and each one looked very, very different compared to others in the within the genus. For example, Psittacosaurus sibericus, which is one of the strangest, it actually has flanges on the top of the snout, almost like Dilophosaurus does, but much shorter and smaller and much closer to the nostrils, I should say, as well as chin flanges here on the bottom of the jaw, and much longer cheek tusks. Very weird looking, almost like a warthog. But Psittacosaurus lived about 125 to 101 million years ago, and yeah, it had a lot of predators too. It lived alongside things like D-long Paradoxus, which is a small tyrannosaur, Eutyrannus, which is another large tyrannosaur, both of which will actually be in the toy line for the tyrannosaurs when they come out, as well as the dromaeosaur Zenuanlong, which would have preyed on it. And I can actually show you a size comparison between it and Zenuanlong right now. So just give me a second. So there is Zenuanlong compared to Psittacosaurus, and they are roughly about the same size. But yeah, as you can see, this is actually one of Psittacosaurus's major predators. If I can get him to stand up properly instead of falling down on his butt, you can see right there just how they compare in size. Taking Zenuanlong away, we're also going to show you one of the other creatures that Psittacosaurus lived with, and that is, of course, Microraptor. And this is to scale. These are 1/6 scale figures. So Microraptor was pretty small compared to Psittacosaurus. And these two dinosaurs, they actually are scientifically accurate in regards to their color schemes, because, again, Psittacosaurus is known to be preserved with color in some of its fossils, and the same is true of Microraptor. So these are the two most accurate dinosaurs in the toy line, and I am super, super thrilled by that. Now, measurement-wise, the Psittacosaurus figure here measures approximately 12 inches from tip of the beak to the end of the tail, and it is roughly about 4.5 inches tall, maybe just a little bit more. So, very nice size figure. And again, this is 1/6 scale, not 1/18th scale like the larger ceratopsians. There will also be a 1/18th scale Psittacosaurus released to coincide with the release of these larger ceratopsians, so that way you have an accurate scale between them. But unlike this Psittacosaurus, it will actually have only 6 movable joints instead of 19, because a figure that small, it's going to easily break if it has that many joints at that small size. So, yeah. But anyway, in regards to price, this is about the same as the Beasts of the Mesozoic Raptor figures, so about $50, and that's about the same price as the smaller, or 1/18th scale ceratopsians, like Diabloceratops and Chasmosaurus and Avaceratops and the Pseudoceratops. But yeah, if you really want a scientifically accurate dinosaur that is true to everything in regards to its color scheme all the way down to the detail, this is it. This is one of the best there is. And this is also one of the earliest ceratopsians, so you can actually get a good look at how ceratopsian evolution occurred, because this is basically the prototype for ceratopsians. There were earlier ceratopsians than this, such as Yinlong, that evolved in the Jurassic, but this is basically the original body plan for ceratopsians before they got big and went from 2 legs to 4. And again, it's just incredible how well we know Psittacosaurus, because up until these fossils were found in Liaoning, China, we had no idea that these spines or quills or whatever they are, or bristles, I don't know what to even call them anymore. We had no idea that those bristle quill thingies, we didn't even know they were there until these specimens preserving the soft tissue and the color were found. It's just incredible. So, yeah, just an amazing, amazing figure. I can't recommend it enough. And frankly, don't pass up on it. It may not be as showy as something like Styracosaurus or Triceratops or anything like that, but Psittacosaurus is cool in its own right. It is an awesome dinosaur for which thousands of fossils have been found. It is one of the best known dinosaurs out there, and having a figure of it, it just makes it even cooler. So, yeah, I highly recommend getting it. So this is Saber Rex signing off, saying, you're never too old to play with toys. Be a toy nerd. Be proud of it. Thank you. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content. And thank you, and have a good day. Bye.